3, 2, 1, and you're back in the room. There we go. Yep, recording, all good. So guys, after one technical hiccup, this is our second start of this. This is Bane and me chatting about the stats, analysing and balance tweaking the various unit stats for Limbo Eternal War in preparation for things going to print in the not too distant future. We are tweaking stuff. We got the old stat cards here. We got a spreadsheet with new stuff on. Some of the numbers will be significantly different to what you may be used to if you've seen the original stuff from the first time. That's because some of the game mechanics and rules have actually changed. Attacks now deal a bit less damage. Units have less health. It all balances out in the end. And here now, on the top right, we have a pyramid card for Gouge. Take it away, Bane.
Alright, so we're going to have a quick overview of my stat sheet and how it works, and then we're going to, look at how Gouge turns into the new version of Gouge. Just off the top of my head, while we do that, I'll find Gouge here. And
ooh, Arasal's card is appearing there. Slipping up and down a bit, but yep, sure. And we may very well be reskinning some of Azrat's skills for Gouge, for Arasalg, but they'd be ice instead of fire.
Here's Gouge. Oh, see, Gouge didn't even load into my new cards.
There's a new Gouge.
Yeah.
With large, intimidating colour artwork.
Yeah.
And I've just realised where you're grabbing that artwork from. And why it is as it is.
It's going to line up.
That's close enough for now.
Okay. Right. So, looking at Gouge's stats here, we just discussed that he is indeed a hero, and he's a brute, and he's a hunter, and then we come over to his stats. Then the original card, Gouge had 14 hit points, which is a nice amount, and should have a decent number of hit points. But in the new system, hit points are that would be too powerful. Hit points would be close to something to 7.
Hit points are bigger in the new system, which is why people have less of them. Losing 1 point is more significant than it used to be.
That's right. And we also have two sides of the card, where we have Gouge's standard hit points and then his damaged hit points. So at the moment we're looking at the standard side of the card, and we're going to make some adjustments. As you can see, the Gouge, that I've reset all of the demons for the purposes of this this presentation. We're going to show you what the process was. So what we do here, we're looking at Gouge and saying, well, we know that he's supposed to have more health than that. So I would definitely increase his health up to 6 in that column there. And then since he has 2 damaged health, then the total of that is 8. So that's actually more hit points. But Gouge had a lot of hit points before, and I want to represent that as the main thing of him. His original attack was 4.
4, yes.
But he also has deadly. So
a deadly 2, in fact.
A deadly 2, that's right. So that doubles the amount of damage he does. And with a higher hit point system, that means that's going to be even more damage than before. And that's why
so
the attack
thing about deadly
should come down, possibly.
The thing about deadly is it's rather chaotic, deadly. Because deadly multiplies the damage after, defense and armor are factored in. So rather than having a really high attack total and having reliable damage, deadly has a unreliable swingy damage that might not get through the target's defense, but when it does, it's really going to muller them.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to pull that out. Oops. Full chain magnet. I'm getting pop-ups happen over here, so I had to quickly move it out of the way.
Also, as damage is tracked on two sides of the card,
yeah, I'm going to...
Does overflow damage wrap, or does it just stop abruptly and just flip to the other side and be full health from the other side, regardless of overflow?
We didn't... I don't think we ended up discussing the completeness of that rule.
No, well, it makes for an interesting stopping point, right? Because you could kill people outright, or you could go, no, he absolutely gets to survive with it, gets this last gasp.
Yeah. So the idea was initially that when you receive a certain amount of damage which is greater than or equal to your wounds, you flip the card and all the tokens are taken off, unless the opponent used cleave, and cleave would follow through the damage to the other side of the card.
Right, I was thinking an ability or keyword could dictate that. Yeah, sure.
But I do believe there was a discussion of saying, well, hang on, that's a little bit unfair. What happens if I rolled 50 damage?
Yeah.
Right? And that should be enough to kill the guy outright. So I did do some math on it, and we could divide the number of wounds after, like, take off the number of wounds equal to the health. Whatever's left over gets divided by 3 rounded down. Most characters have 1, and some have 2 damaged health. And so
okay,
any amount of damage rounded up is going to kill them outright, making the whole point of the damage side of the card a waste of time.
Yeah.
Why did you even bother to use it? And so we wouldn't do that. But if you happen to have done 3 more damage, that's statistically a lot harder. And so if we say,
that's much harder.
Yeah, it's much harder to get 3 more damage than the person has health. So in the case of Gouge here...
For those not familiar with the system, you roll your damage total, then you divide it by the defense and armor. So you would need to not just beat the defense by a certain amount, you need to beat it by multiples. So if some guy's got a defense of 2 and an armor of 1, that's you're dividing your damage by 3. So you would need to do like 9 more points over whatever it was on the front part of the card. You'd need to do an insane amount to actually wipe someone in one go there. And that's the kind of thing Lords could potentially do.
Well, yeah, Lords could potentially do that. And so
Lords, some of the greater demons, angels, things like that. There are potent Lords things in the game. Yeah.
So there is the potential for Lords to bypass because they'll have done enough damage. But the reason I chose 3 was because the average person's defense score to making the divisor is going to be 3. So 3 divided by 3, you'd have to divide 9 down to 3. And to do 9 more in damage, or 9 more in your attack roll, you would have to have, in theory, rolled an exploding dice, score a 5, then roll that and score a 5, and roll again and score a 5. In which case, if you have double exploded, I reckon you deserve to outright kill your opponent. You've managed to do such a great dice roll, it's pushed through and the person's knocked out.
Again, completely. since we mentioned one character earlier who can explode on 4s, I'm really looking forward to when we go tweaking the balances on that card.
Yep, that's right.
Oh, exploding 4s is great. So Gouge had an attack of 4, now it's increased to 5.
No, so the 5 is the problem. So 5, as you can see, no, you can't see it in your screen because
it's tiny. I can see it.
No, you do have the.
It's very small, but I can see the area.
If Eric index all this bizzo.
Here.
Yeah. Okay. So you can't see above, so I'm just making sure that, okay, so there's a bunch of business logic that says there's supposed to be a 5.
Yeah.
But
because of the keywords of
There's a
demon, brute, and hunter.
demon, etc., etc. Exactly. But we know that he's got deadly. Deadly is, well, it's deadly.
Yep.
So all the attack scores had been reduced at an
Yep.
earlier stage, and so 3 is the more appropriate.
So is that even a deadly 3 instead of deadly 4 then? Probably.
Well, in the old rules, deadly 4 would be fine with 14 hit points.
Yeah.
But remember, we've got to reduce all these
But with
given
7,
values.
yeah, deadly 3.
Yeah. So all
Makes
these
sense.
values go down to half as well. So the hit points go by half, and the attack score goes by half, but the defense and the armor stays the same.
Yeah, I think deadly 2 isn't likely to really feel very impressive because he's on a massive base. He's huge, you know. So deadly 3 might be the best way to tweak it.
Yeah.
Okay. And I suppose we, in terms of skills then, like he has his infernal hook, which used to be attack 4, which is his base attack value, at a range of 4. Limited range, can't go any further, pulls him 4 spaces in towards him and immobilizes him. It's basically, you know, grabs him with a hook on the end of a chain and pulls him in, you know.
That's right. So we won't be including that as a normal ranged attack, and we'll drop these stats appropriately. But he does have a reach.
Wait. Yeah, no, I was just thinking, because, so it doesn't need to be attack 4, because he has a ranged attack value already, right? So, he has a ranged attack value of 2 now. So, you could just, when you come to putting it on the card, you could reword the Infernal Hook ability to be, you know, make a ranged attack if it does at least 4, you know. So rather than writing in the attack value and range on it, because that's already on the card, just be like, his ranged attack gains this for this, because it's an active skill. But yeah, you know what I mean. We can diddle that, because we're working on core stats at the moment, not skills. I was just thinking of how skills might get tweaked a bit as well.
The problem with, if we give him a ranged attack of 4 and range of 4 on his base stats, it means he can do that independently of his Infernal Hook.
Yeah.
And so his Infernal Hook costs 3.
So that's a point, actually. So he has a ranged attack stat listed.
That's right.
So what we do is we don't give him a passive ranged attack he can use all the time, and just make it, you know, he gets to use his ranged attack with this skill, essentially.
That's right. And you'll also notice that if we did give him a ranged attack and range, his shard cost would jump up to 16. We don't want to do that.
Okay. So
we're already over a little bit because we've bumped up his defense and his armor.
He's going to be
match
expensive.
His original stat. Now, interestingly, he has a speed of 4, but I think that's purely his move.
He's lost his 3 points of armor that he used to have, I see. Just looking at the card image there.
Oh, the card image? No. So, okay, maybe it's a bad idea to show the card image because it's not... You can't see the stats go live changing.
Okay, so. I can see the stats very small on the screen, so I should focus on those instead. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting, actually. As we discuss this, maybe it would be smarter to discuss it via that card.
I've just been looking at that because the stuff on it's bigger.
Yeah, gotcha. Right, so what I can do then, I can play around.
Because he used to have, dodge free, defense free, and armor free, which was quite a lot, considering he wasn't actually wearing that much armor.
Yeah.
He had some. So you just have really tough infernal hide, in addition to the metal plates and helmet he has.
Wondering if this is going to work or not.
Should I just go look at the spreadsheet instead while you keep sharing this for people on Discord?
Yeah, it's going to be a bit. It's going to be a little bit impossible for me to be playing around with this in a live.
Okay, well, don't fiddle with it. Continue talking me through things, and we'll tweak numbers, because that's the main purpose of this meeting.
It's interesting. We could have talked about having live editing of the card. That even changed. That didn't change. Oh yeah, went to 0.
Yep, his range attack's gone to 0.
That took a lot of effort from my end to be able to do that. That wasn't part of the...
Yeah, that's going to slow things down significantly if you need to keep doing that. So let's avoid that if possible.
I can set that up for next time.
Yeah,
next time we can have the cards do something like that. Anyway, we need to be concentrating on here.
Yeah.
I'll change the highlight on here so it's more obvious that we're working on that particular line.
Working on that particular row, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is that easy to see?
A bit. What is that? Is that a 5? I can see some 4s. Looks like a 3, a 1. That one there you're currently mousing over, I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, that's a 0.
That's a 0. It looked like a 5 for a brief moment. Because as I said, they're pretty small at the moment up there. But it's okay. You can tell me what the numbers are and we'll compare. And we got the old card there, the kind of temporary new card there, and we can... Oh, yeah, that's getting bigger, isn't it? Right.
Is that slightly better?
I mean, I can read the unit names on the left now. Quite clear. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's much clearer. Great.
Okay, cool. Alright, so as we just discussed, his attack, because he has deadly, needs to be 3. His ranged attack can't be part of his stat block. He has a reach of 1 because that's what he has as one of his skills.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have his standard defense of 3 and armor of 3, which matches the original card, makes him pretty tough. He has a speed of 4 because he's huge. And here's the question is, what do we do about his opposite side of his card? Now, having the damaged health of 2 is okay. His damaged attack should match his attack. His range should not be there.
Okay, how do we think he's going to change when he gets badly wounded?
Yeah.
He's a brute, so he might just get even more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Lower his defense by 1, maybe?
Defense, yeah. The armor doesn't change, and the speed usually comes down 1
No,
point.
the armor doesn't change, but he might just be more aggressive and reckless at that point and defending himself less. Just like hurling himself at things and not trying to dodge or parry so much,
So what we did, and I'm viewing a screen you can't see, what we did was we reduced his damage defense down to 1, so he really becomes quite weak and he just doesn't care. But he's so much more deadly. We increased his actual attack here so that he is going to be doing more damage than he was before and more likely to kill someone outright when making that attack. So that's the critical point there to understand. Now, I want you to notice the difference. If I put up his damaged health, notice his shard cost at the moment is 11. If I put up his damaged health...
Going to go to like a 13 or something?
It might jump up. No, it went down to a 10 when I did that.
Interesting.
Now, the reason for that is because it's the percentage of stats. How much percentage of his hat at one rate versus how much a percentage of his stats at another rate. So I'm going to drop that down to 5
there's less percentage of his health on the full health side, so that's why it's gone down. Right, got it.
That's right. So the defense score at a 3 was 6 parts of over 8 versus his defense score of 1 was 2 parts over 8. Now, because I've adjusted his main health to a 5 and his damage health to a 3, it's 5 parts at the higher defense and 3 parts at the lower defense. And that damage, that ranged, sorry, not ranged attack, that's the damaged attack score going up by 1 isn't so much that it's offset. And as a result, his shards has come back to 10, which is kind of what we wanted.
Okay. That works.
We can squeeze over here. As you notice, none of the skill are in this spreadsheet, and that's why the bottom right corner of your screen, the gouge, has first skill, test skill 2.
Yeah.
Because I didn't put anything in here.
Doesn't even have his third skill on there at all, so that's fine.
That's right, exactly. If anyone's joining us or just joined us in the car, how many people we got in now?
Yeah, one more person joined a little while ago. Hello.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, yeah. So essentially, what happened was I wiped out all the stats, and copy pasted the old set in, so everyone can have a look at what we did and how we did it. Of course, they did make some things look quite funny. Now, here's an interesting part. I've given him a limited range.
Yeah, he had that before.
Okay. Yeah, so limited range is now reach. The keyword reach.
Oh, okay, so his limited range essentially meant that when he made his infernal hook ranged attack, he couldn't multiply the range. He could only use the base range, like a point blank shot, essentially.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've stated that his weapon is bigger than normal, and so he has a reach into the diagonal corners by having that keyword.
Yeah, so his big brutal chopping cleaver is massive. You know, it's like longer than a man, pretty much.
That's it.
And the infernal hook is just on the end of a chain. He uses it to hook people and reel them in. That's like a separate attack, separate active skill.
That's right. And so that is a reach 4 attack.
Yeah.
Instead of making it ranged attack,
you just give it a reach 4. Got it. Yeah.
It's a reach 4 attack so that he can make that reach distance, but he doesn't have the multiplier.
So that's just rewording the skill and tweaking it a bit, you know. Sure.
Yeah, in a way also because I don't want someone to use deflecting arrows on his reach. So or arrow catching. All of the range stuff is typically something that someone else with their special skills is going to be able to throw a block into and say, hey, we're going to block that, we're going to throw a shield up against it, we're going to...
I mean, if you got someone like Wong with his ability to step into the way and intercept the attack and become the target, you know, then he's the one who gets dragged in, for example.
Does Wong have that effect on reach or on ranged attacks?
Let's see, on his old card... when an enemy within 3 squares and sight activates, if Wong is ready, activate what? No, it's not that one. It's protect the weak. When an adjacent bloodied character or character, this is old wording, of course, yeah, or character with a lower cost, as in lower shard cost than Wong, is attacked, Wong may get this. You know, it's an old card where it says step side instead of sidestep in bold, all one word. Then, if Wong could be a legal target for the attack, Wong becomes the defender. So as long
no keyword
as
range there.
Sorry.
No keyword range.
No keyword range at all or anything. It's just essentially, as long as the target is standing next to Wong, he could, you know, shift a square, and then if he can become a legal target of the attack, he can go, "Hey, you got me instead."
Yeah.
But I think there's a few other characters who might have something a little bit like that, but again, he's a bit of an outlier character, and I don't think we have access to him for this campaign.
No.
He was in the first campaign. I think he had to sit out this one and will hopefully be returning at some point in the future.
Okay. The wound symbol didn't show up on the new card. I wonder if that's because I reset the values.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about that wound symbol, yeah.
Now, we have a new wound symbol.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new wound symbol?
Yeah, not recently, but sure if you want.
It's like a bloodied slash instead of that weird dabbing picture that was in the previous one.
We have some interesting wound results on the cards for some of the characters, that's all.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah. Maul dazes when he inflicts damage, you know. Goron dazes, and if they're already dazed, he stuns them when he whacks them with his hammer. You know, it's serious business, that hammer of his.
Goron. There's a thing. I don't have the Goron stats, so let's go over Goron stats while we're
Sure.
here because I don't.
Let me just get
You've
to
got
it
the
because
card.
it's
I don't have
down here. So Goron is the belligerent dwarf who likes to hit big things really hard and likes to fight large groups of enemies. So these are old stats, okay? Let me know when you've got to the appropriate line and we can start filling stuff in.
Yep. Okay, so he's a hero. Is he a brute?
Dwarf, guardian, and knight.
Guardian, knight.
And hero. No brute.
Guardian, knight. Is he a dwarf, though?
He is. He's the only dwarf in the game so far.
So far.
I hope to change that at some point, but currently he's the only dwarf in the game.
Yep. Okay, so that sets up some of his stats. So we have here a health of 5, which is very large for, as we've seen, that's demon level.
Old health. He had 8 health, which was 2 more than the shield guards on 6.
Yeah.
The same as Sephiria, 1 more than Betrogard, and 1 less than Godfrey on 9, if that gives you a good point of relevance for other profiles to look at to then fine-tweak his health.
Well, Godfrey's up here with a 4 and a 2 for his damaged health.
4 and 2.
So I'm quite fine with that. Although, because he's a dwarf, I really think the idea of dwarfs should be that they have more capability to cope with damaged health.
Yeah, so maybe like 3 and 2.
Yeah.
And we'll...
Now, what was his original health again? 8?
His original health was 8.
Okay, so it should be 4 in the end. So if we go 4 here and leave him with a 2 for damaged health, that puts him in a very powerful position.
Okay. Original attack 4.
Okay, so that's supposed to jump down to 2. Is he...
Ooh, that is really not going to work with some of his skills and abilities.
Oh, okay.
You'll understand why in a bit.
I'll just page up to some of the others.
Yeah.
Godfrey's a 3, so maybe we can give him a 3 then.
One of his skills... one of his skills is going to either need rewording or would generally want him to be rolling 3 or more dice to attack. Let's see. Godfrey...
Does he have any kind of ranged attack?
Nope.
No, so
he's got a ranged skill, but not an attack.
Okay, so that's different. Has he got a weapon that... No, from the picture, from memory, he has a big hammer.
Yep, I'll get to that.
As big as he is?
It is about as big as he is. There's no reach on it, but he has a taunt. Because what he does is he sucks in all the enemies around him and then powers up, gaining 1 accuracy for every enemy standing next to him.
Okay, we'll give him a reach keyword then.
What, just for diagonal reach?
For diagonal reach, keyword.
It's each enemy that threatens him, not each enemy that he threatens. So if they've got reach as well, then he can get even more powerful.
Yeah.
He is a very angry little man. We've got a defense of 3 and an armor of 1. The armor of 1 looks extremely unrealistic given how much armor he's wearing.
Okay, so we should consider... Now, what was his original shard cost?
His original shard cost was 8.
Okay, I'll use that as a reference point.
So he had 8 health, 4 attack, 3 defense, and 1 armor and 4 move.
Yeah, but we're saying we think he should have more.
He looks like he's wearing more armor than a lot of the Tiger Knight troopers.
Okay, so let's at least put him into a 2.
The armor plates on his shoulders and on his knees and hips, thighs, look much thicker than the armor a lot of the humans are wearing. You can't tell how much armor is under his robes, but the impression is there's some there, because he's got the breastplate on as well.
Yep.
in terms icons here, that is focus and the eye, which I think is the guarding someone special skill, active skill. Weapon on damage, he has daze or stun if already dazed. And then for skills, he's got always on, infinite. Against all odds, Goron gains accuracy 1 for each enemy character that threatens him. And then he's got active. I'm trying to remember which one is the full in it. Almighty Smite, cost 3 fate. Attack. Goron may reroll up to 2 dice during this attack and may trigger critical effects using 4s and 5s, which is a pretty good skill, but if he's only got an attack of 2, then rerolling up to 2 dice is pretty much rerolling everything.
Yep.
And also it's not going to have as much of an effect. And then his other active skill is Challenging Shout, cost 2 fate, pull 1 on each enemy within 2 and boost his defense. So basically he challenges everyone. He's like, I'll fight you all, and then starts hitting them really hard. Simple but effective. So he doesn't have a shield. Maybe drop his defense to 2 and raise his armor to 2, so it goes from 3-1 to 2-2.
It's like, what's going on? And then I realised, the dwarven images aren't loading up properly. Okay.
Aha.
And it's also using default stats, so it has flight.
He really doesn't have that.
No, that's right. Alright, so look, I'm comfortable saying that his damage attack doesn't change.
Mm-hmm.
His damage defense, according to this, should go up because he's a dwarf.
Okay.
We're cool with that. So once he's bloodied, he's even better at defending himself.
Yeah. He just kind of hunkers down low to the ground and starts swinging for the ankles.
Yeah, exactly. Do we want to represent his armor?
I mean,
no, that's fine.
He's definitely wearing some. He had an armor of 1 on the old profile, which looked a bit low for the amount of armor on the model.
Yeah.
So arguably an armor of 2 with a defense of 2. So that way he'd keep the old total of defense of 4. Just it would be split differently.
Yeah.
And even raised to a 5 when badly wounded.
Okay. He doesn't have deadly, he doesn't have immune, he's not huge, he doesn't have flight.
No, he's got daze and stun.
Daze and stun.
Yeah.
Or daze or stun if already dazed.
Or stun if already dazed. Exactly, yes.
Yeah. So that's too much text in that area. That breaks the rules of that spot on the card. So what we need to do is...
You could even just give him a passive skill if dazed. Or you could just make it a standard thing. If you get dazed a second time, it progresses to stun. And then we'd be in Pathfinder rules again. Which is probably exactly where that came from, to be honest, when it went on the card in the first place.
So what happens is I put in this... Oh, you can't see it on your screen.
That's okay. I can hear you.
I put in this daze / stun effect, and that puts it on the card in such a way that shows it as it's daze as a wound and stun as a wound. And then the rules state that if the person sees daze on the card and they hit them and wound them, then they can apply the daze token. If they already have a daze token and the keyword stun exists, then it allows them to stun them. So that's the point, is you can't just go straight to stun unless it doesn't have daze as a keyword.
And if we're really lucky, the daze and stun could be a double-sided token.
I'm fairly sure it is, actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure the
Because
day's
that would be
done.
a good flip the token over thing. We might want to put a mention of that in the rulebook somewhere. Like, don't go looking for the other token. It's literally on the other side of what you've already got.
It's on the top. It's on the not equipment. What do you call it?
It's going to
It's
be on
on
the
the
back of
page.
something else, isn't it?
Yeah, the page that says these are the bits and pieces that come in the box.
Okay, so do you...
Unfortunately, I can't finish making that page in the rule book because I haven't got final
Yep.
prints of anything.
Do you want the wording on... the exact wording on his other skills there?
Yeah, let's double check on this. So he shouldn't... Should he have accuracy?
Yeah, he's got a... He gets 1 accuracy for each adjacent enemy. Well, no, each enemy that threatens him gives him 1 accuracy. So he can get a lot of accuracy.
That's not normal, though.
It's not normal at all. It's a infinity symbol, so it's an always-on skill. It's
not a keyword, is my point. So we'll
drop
the keyword. Because at the moment his keywords are accuracy 2, Pierce 1, flight. Well, obviously he doesn't have flight.
So he has accuracy star or accuracy unlimited, or accuracy the amount of people who threaten him.
No, because don't confuse a worded skill with a keyword. So a keyword is always at the bottom. It's always on no matter what.
Okay, no. Yeah, so he has... Well, that's the thing. He doesn't have accuracy as a keyword, but he has a infinite always-on skill, which gives him accuracy based on the amount of people he's fighting.
Yeah, but no one else has got that.
Literally no one else has got that. So it's not going on the list, right? No, he's just got daze and stun then as keywords on the bottom of the card.
Okay, so we just drop... The only thing I'll do then is I'll leave the reach in here so that it's the version where he gets diagonals access. I see on the card focus, and is that the old command? No, that's the old...
I was literally going to the old rulebook PDF to look it up.
Yeah, I think that's the old guard.
I think it is shield as well, but I'm getting there, okay. It is this one. Right. So, again, the old rulebook is not the best. Yeah, it is the old guard.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's funny, I'm going through the old rulebook, flipping to find the
Page 12.
rules. Yeah, and then I come across the art book, and I'm like, hang on a second, I don't remember getting all these pictures.
Yeah.
Are these all our pictures?
The art book, but yeah, the honorary one. I think those are all ours. Yeah.
Yeah, I should have them.
And he's got some others on his website that are ours that aren't in the art book at the moment.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Like all the Noah Din stuff, for example.
Yeah. All right, so there's no expensive keywords on Goran. So the keyword count should actually be 1.
And you've literally found the card there. Cool.
Yeah, I found it eventually. I was digging through the shed trying to find everything to do with this because I had to clean up my office. The 5s cost daze and stun. That will be 2. Focus and guard will cost 2. Okay, that's it for those. Standard 3 skill points there.
Very expensive skills. That's a potential 5 fate outlay and 1 activation. You know that's going to be...
If you did both of them.
Yeah, if he does both, that's going to be an epic smackdown, but you're giving a lot of fate away to your opponent there.
Well, and your opponent has to have given you 5 fate to set you up to even be able to do that.
Yeah, so if they're aware of what he can do, they probably won't give you that much.
Don't ever give your opponent more than 4 fate.
If
your opponent's sitting on 4 fate,
unless they really wanted to do something expensive. And then they've just fed you the ability, and you're like, right, I'm going to hit you back then. It's the seesaw thing of the fate board.
That's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that makes Goron very cheap now.
Oh, because he was
He doesn't
expensive
cost.
before.
He was 8. Now he's a 6.
I would say his old cost. He had, his 8 health was pretty big. His 1 armor wasn't much. So it must have been mostly his skills and the fact that he had a built-in stun that were giving him that cost. That and the fact that the old cost might not have been that well balanced in the first place.
No, I think Goron was too expensive before. 8.
Yeah.
For what he's got there. I mean, okay, he's
It was-
got this accuracy 1 for each enemy within that threatens him.
That's potentially quite powerful.
Potentially, yeah.
Especially when you combine it with his challenging shout, because what he'd do is challenging shout, draw a load of enemies in towards him, so they all threaten him. Some of them might have reach, so he just draws them in, and they're like, "You're 2 spaces away. Come a space closer and threaten me."
Yeah.
Just come threaten me so I can hit your mate over here.
Do we want to adjust? My thought is that Goron shouldn't have as much. Look, what I've done with every other card so far is to say, okay, Goron's or every single other card, all the stats are done by the maths in this chart, but then the skills, these specific skills, I've given them a baseline cost to say, okay, this is how much is allowed to be spent in a skill. And then if I want to increase what I can spend in a skill, then they have to have a effect or a thing that, in this case, for example, Almighty Strike.
His Almighty Smite, which definitely has a big effect on crits on 4s. That's almost worth a whole point to push him up to a 7-point character.
Yeah, exactly. So, but the Almighty Strike has 2 costs to it. One is attack. So because you're using up your attack of Goron, your skill is just an effect of a type.
It's an effect that you're adding to the skill. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to say, I'm going to attack, but my attack is going to have this bonus.
So what I do is say, and exploding 4s. I'm not sure anyone else in the game has exploding 4s.
No. So what I've done for Goron, I've said, okay, 3 shards. What does 3 shards cost me? Well, a reroll of 1 dice, that's a shard cost. So 2 dice, that's 2 shard costs. And trigger crits on 4s is a 3 cost. And you might consider, that sounds really expensive, except, of course, we've reduced everybody's attack scores by 25%. So there's less dice being rolled now. And so I'm okay with that. And challenging
less
shout.
Dice being rolled means those 2 rerolls are essentially bigger because it's more of his dice.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
That's right. But
so they're more valuable. But challenging shout.
Challenging shout. Put 1 on each enemy within 2 squares and boost defense.
And boost defense. Self.
Yeah, boost defense. Boost self. That's right. I should say that. Yeah. So he has this situation where he's going, okay, well, pull 1 on each enemy.
Yep.
It's like, well, yes, that's good, but it's also bad in the sense that now the opponent has the ability to wail on Goron.
Well, yeah, but the idea is that he uses that, which then gives him accuracy and then makes his attack. Even without using Almighty Smite, he'll be able to wallop one of the people he's pulled in. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So what Goron's mostly going to be doing is going, hey, everyone come at me, and they all come at him, and now because he's against all odds, he gets an accuracy boost. Yeah. Sure, right?
It's also a bit of board control because you're pulling them away from somewhere else where they were previously. So if they were threatening someone else and you just pull them off out of combat, you're like, my mate's safe now. So there's a bit of sort of aggro control tech there as well. Yeah,
but what I've done is I've actually reduced the challenging shout cost from 2 down to 1 because
seems reasonable.
Boost defense is the cost. Like, okay, I'm getting a bonus boost defense. That cost me 1, but pull 1 on each enemy. That's
both a positive and negative thing. Yeah,
it cancels itself out. And even though Goron says, right, I've done this thing, and now I gain accuracy for each enemy character that threatens me. Sure, except for the fact that you've just now pulled in 6 enemies just so you can hit one of them easier. You've got 5 more enemies next to you, right? They're all going to have a double attack on you or a single attack plus focus bonus in the following round. And okay, so
Anecdotally,
you've got...
I think the 1 or 2
Yeah.
times I got to use him, I don't think he got to ever pull more than 2 or 3 enemies.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, the statistical chances that you're going to be pulling in lots and lots of enemies from lots of different directions is small. Still, if to get a massive accuracy bonus, you need to pull in a massive number of
Yeah,
them.
you'd need to pull in a massive amount, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not really seeing that happening that often. Yeah. My Discord has got a yellow line around it.
Okay.
I don't know why. I think it's telling me... it's telling me that it's streaming the OBS sharing. Right, that's what it's telling me.
Okay.
I was thinking, what is going on here? Yeah, all good.
So, all well and good then.
Everyone's names in the stream are all truncated. So
Discord does that when you have OBS running. It's called streamer mode. You can turn it off at the top of Discord. There'll be a thing along the top that says streamer mode is turned on, names have been truncated. Yeah. Do you want to disable this? And you go, yeah, get lost. I want to be able to read people's names. Or you go, bit of privacy for, whoever may be there in case some other people are watching. Yeah, up to you.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. No. I mean, it's not like I'm streaming the names.
I'm wondering if old Goron's armor of 1 was that low because the knight keyword and guardian keyword might have allowed him to take some very defensive upgrades that would rack up his armor values. But it still feels that armor 0 on the new card there, on the temporary new card image, not on the spreadsheet. Let's see on the spreadsheet what we got. Armor... I'm trying to find it. We're on the damage side, so... Did we push the armor up to 2? I think we went to defense 2, armor 2, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah. There's one.
Okay. And then he goes to defense 3, armor 2 when he's hunkering down.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, against all odds, with Yakun standing like just out of reach of enemies behind him, that could be pretty devastating.
I mean, he's got a defense 3, armor 2. He's giving him a divide by 5. You throw his boost defense on top of it, he's now got a divide by 6.
Yeah.
I mean, your average opponent is only rolling 2 dice.
Yeah.
They're barely going to get 1 damage in against him anyway. So, and all he gets in as a result of that is an accuracy 1 boost. So it's like, well, okay. All right, so since we're up here, and
are we going to do Nancy, Livia, Wong? Nancy's a weird one.
Nancy?
Yeah.
I think I've got Nancy somewhere.
Well, I've got the card here in my hand in case you don't have it to hand.
Yeah, I'll just double check.
She's a sort of 19th century-ish Call of Cthulhu tentacle monster thing hybrid. She's a crossover character from like another IP that I'm not sure we have permission to use her in the second campaign, but we do in the first one. So she's like a legacy character that not a lot of people might have.
So we're just adjusting her stats for people who...
And God, you're going to want to adjust these stats. Sorry, you're going to want to adjust her skills.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just pull up her card in the card converter to show she's not finished yet.
Yeah, you got the card there, that's cool, so I don't need to talk you through it necessarily, although it's a bit blurry on screen. So she's a human rogue hunter. Old, health 7, attack 4, defense 4, no armor, speed 5, movement speed 5. With some very potent skills.
Nothing's coming up for Nancy, so yeah, I think her image is missing from the files just to top it off.
I don't think she has a new image from the files.
It could be just the image is missing.
So she got constant entangling tentacles. Enemy characters threatened by Nancy cannot use the evasive keyword. One cost, I think reaction is the spinning circle with the blades on the edge, isn't it?
Hang on, I'm just pulling up everything. So
going to the old rulebook to check.
Okay. So Nancy's one of the ones we haven't put in because she was an old card, so we can put her in now.
Yeah, she has 2 reactions.
Reference her. So human rogue hunter hero. Yep. So I need to give her rogue.
Rogue, not makeup.
Rogue. Hunter human. There we go. That should bump her stats around somewhere. Okay, let's look at hers. So originally she had 7 health, so that should now down to 3 and 1. She originally had 4 attack, which is now 3.
Yep.
She doesn't have anything that looks like she has ranged in there.
No, she's just got tentacles. That they don't reach out far, but they kind of grab people who are close.
Okay. Enemy characters threatened by Nancy cannot use evasive keyword. Right. When Nancy declares an attack, she gains accuracy X. The number of spaces has moved this activation.
Similar to
when Nancy
is it Ruggiero?
Ruggiero's
Rodrigo. Similar to Rodrigo. Rodrigo has his +1 attack for every 2 squares he moved, whereas she's getting +1 accuracy for every 1 square she moved. So there's a similarity.
Okay. So the question we have is that something that we have to worry about for the purposes of charge? She's got a movement of 5.
Yeah, she can cover a lot of ground.
Yeah. So if I scroll up to Rodrigo, because he's
look at her 3rd skill before balance tweaking the second, because it does factor in.
When Nancy's attack resolves, evade and sidestep.
Yeah. So she can literally... She can, like, charge in, make a big attack, pinball wizard bounce off, or, like rubber band off again.
Yeah. So she charges up to somebody.
Yep.
She hits them.
And then moves away a little bit.
She gets a massive boost for hitting them because she's with a flash of steel. And then she takes a sidestep 1 square away from them.
Yep.
And triggers her evade when since she already has evasive.
Yep.
Effectively increases her evade up to 4.
She's also got that symbol on the card, which is
dodge.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's dodge as well. It is.
Yeah.
It's the evade skill, which
but you've got
doesn't
to
have
spend
an
action to trigger that.
So
to trigger that, you've got to spend an action.
Yeah. No, I was just checking I'd correctly understood that.
Yeah. So in theory, if she's under a severe amount of attack and you really need her to dodge every possible attack that's happening against her,
then you could spend an action to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could maybe do whirling defense so that you've got evade keyword triggered, and then also use her evasive skill, giving her a total evade of 5 on top of her defense score of 4.
Yeah.
So but that's what we want with her, right? That's the whole point of her. Again, this is only for people from 1.0.
Yeah. So she is a legacy character with a bit of an extreme profile.
Look, here's the thing I'm looking at, right? Okay, first up, I'll put in her stat. Her original cost was 8.
Yeah.
She had an attack of 4. That's 3. That's balanced out.
Mm-hmm.
In my rules at the moment, she has a defense of 2, which is obviously wrong. That should come back up to 4. Her whole profile is defensive.
Yep.
But look at the way her blades, her cloths, the whole thing about her. I think she should have either, if she doesn't have at least reach the keyword to get into the diagonals,
Mm.
she should have a 1 because it seems to be the way she is. To
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
What do you think?
She's kind of like a reverse Charlotte. You know, Charlotte can do very high, like, aggressive burst, whereas Nancy is like very high dodge. You know.
Yeah. Okay, since she's more of a dodging character than an attacking character,
Oh, she seems to have a
then
pretty. Maybe Flash of Steel should have its cost increased to 2 because it can get quite a big accuracy. Or
Nancy
maybe
declares
1 accuracy for every 2 squares she moved or something.
Yeah, because we've changed the rules on movement
and attacking, and yeah.
No, hang on. When Nancy declares an attack, this is not a.
No,
this is not an action.
It's a cost. It's a fate cost, though.
It's a fate cost.
It's a 1 fate cost, so we could up the fate cost to 2, and just leave the skill as is, or tweak the skill.
Yeah. Yeah, because Flash of Steel could be used with charge.
Yeah.
And since she has a movement of 5, I haven't changed that, so that should be a 5 because movement rules didn't change.
Because she doesn't really have legs. Oh, you know what's funny? The way she's just like slithering forwards with all those tentacles there. I literally saw Jonathan Green, who wrote a load of later Fighting Fantasy game books. He's writing another one at the moment. Again, he keeps churning them out. Great bloke. He's written a new one with a rather simplistic title, which gives you the entire premise. It's like, do you know why the Globe Theatre burnt down in 1613? Well, some people say that, a cannon set fire to the building during the performance of one of the plays. Nope. Yeah. Title of the book says Shakespeare versus Cthulhu. You're going to find out what really went down. You're playing William Shakespeare. Fighting, is like writing a play, getting the actors to perform the play, but the eldritch horrors from beyond appear, and oh yeah.
Do we want now?
Yeah.
Nancy's defensive point is defense is her point, right? Speed and defense.
Yeah.
So if I put her damage defense at 4 and her damage speed at 5.
So if she's wounded, does she slow down significantly, or does she turn into like a spinning top and start beating harder and harder and harder to it?
Yeah.
I think she might slow down a bit and be, not necessarily movement speed, but defense might drop down to a 3 when she's in a wounded state.
Okay, we can consider that. Okay, so I will just briefly put her names in just so that it doesn't... Was it entangling? These doesn't matter at the moment.
Entangling tentacles, flash of steel, and whirling defense.
Yeah, the computer doesn't pick up these 3 things except to say that they exist or they don't at the moment.
It just helps you for later.
Yeah. She doesn't have any major keywords there. She does have evasive. Evasive 3.
3 whole points of evasive, yeah. And she's got wound on her weapon as well.
She has wound.
Yeah, that's nasty.
For that. And she has focus and evade. There, which is 2. Might bump her to a 9. No, didn't. Okay. So she was right on the edge of a 9, I reckon, and she just slipped under.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. See, Zhao's at 59.4.
And to think I've been leaving her in pieces waiting to build her at a suitable time.
Yeah.
Might have to build her quicker at this rate.
Yeah, so Zhao's got a 59.4 and comes in as a 10. Nancy's got a 50.75 and comes in at an 8. So she must be like point nothing, like the tiniest point will put her over the edge into a 9.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with, because
yeah,
I'm looking at that flash of steel and wondering about the cost of it. 1 seems it does seem a little bit low. Yeah. Okay. So
Flash
what
of
I'll
Steel
do is I'll
cost
go to
2
the
seems more balanced.
yeah.
Because it's easier than rebalancing the skill. Just go, okay, just rebalance the cost then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going into the rule set because I don't want to forget that everything else we've done, I've already kind of done, and we're just tweaking some stuff. But Nancy's change of stat, that's something that's a new change. So I'm going to have to find that rule and change that. Where is that? That should be in app. No, it should be in.
Yu Shao, the second Yu Scout with the bow. She may be able to blatantly copy Loner and Snipe from Livia, then replace Spring into action with something more fitting to her character when it comes to skills.
Okay, I'm just noting the time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's almost 7 o'clock here, and that means the family is all waking up and preparing.
You need to head off soon, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to head off soon. So it's a good chat. We got Nancy and Goron, and we revisited Gouge, although I think Gouge was already finished, but
it was a good example to showcase.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But Nancy and Goron, well, Nancy is an old card, so I'm not 100% sure Vincent had counted for the 1.0 cards to be replaced at this stage.
Right.
So PDF wise, everyone will get a copy. Yeah. But I don't know that we're physically getting cards. I don't think he's
because Nancy and Wong aren't characters in this campaign.
That's right, and as a result of them not being in this campaign,
for the few people who have the models from the first version, just giving us like a PDF with an updated card is probably fine.
Yeah, but if we can sneak them into the list and get them printed
absolutely.
Up. Okay, cool, man. Thanks very much. Sorry about the technical issues, everybody.
So we'll do this again at some point when we're able.
Yeah, we'll set this up again. But this will be the next time we do this. We'll be working on the what is it? The Arshan or the Quincy?
The Quincy. Oh, that'll be a way off, right? Okay.
Yeah, isn't that supposed to be the next? Oh no, he wants Angels and Demons next. So okay.
Okay, so what you're saying is the Quincy are being pushed back so Angels and Demons can come. So are they coming before or after the Dragon?
That's a good question because the Dragon's
because the Dragon's separate, isn't it? It's a separate thing.
That's right. Okay, buddy. Catch you later.
Right, talk to you later, man. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.